Today we're going to be reviewing the Lumos Nyxel Illuminated Bike Urban Helmet. Lumos is well known for their bike helmets that combine sleek designs with integrated lighting elements for additional safety. The Lumos Nyxel is one of their latest helmets, and it has an urban style with sleek front and rear LEDs. We're lucky enough to get an early sample of this, so some of the features and specs may change by the time you see this video. Packaging wise, really simple. You have a nice illustration of the helmet right on the front, and then the specs for the version that we have here. I'll go ahead and open this up and we'll go over the full specs. So retail price on this ranges quite a bit depending on which model you get. According to the Kickstarter page, it goes from $129 to $259, and $259 is the full e-bike version. We have the $209 version. So this has the MIPS liner as well as the Quin crash safety sensor. It has the MIPS Evolve liner, so pretty sleek integration here with this nice rotational liner on the inside. You have that Quin crash sensor, so it's a pretty advanced crash sensor that'll ensure that your emergency contacts are notified, and it can even send out a beacon to help people find you in whatever location you're at. You have front and rear COB LEDs, which is the coolest feature, so really well integrated. And they also have sequential turn lights, which is a cool feature. With this one, you also get their wireless remote. So this one is the Lumos Remote Light. Not compatible with the Firefly lights, but it is compatible with the helmet itself. So here you can see the remote, 2 buttons for the turn signals. As far as what comes with it, obviously you get the helmet, some packaging. You have a little quick start guide here for the Quin app. You have a USB Type-C charging cable with this nice braided design. You get various O-rings for mounting the wireless remote as well. Now let's take a look at the weight of the helmet. So the helmet by itself in the size medium with the MIPS liner and the Quin crash sensor is 407 grams, which is actually pretty light given that the fact that it has LEDs. And then the wireless remote with one of the straps. And the battery installed, just a little watch battery, is 16 grams. Visually, the Lumos Nyxel has a classic urban profile with a single piece upper and a very subtle front brim molded directly into the body. We don't know what the final selections for the colors will be, but the Kickstarter page currently shows a wide selection of colors from fun glossy ones like the one we have here, metallic finishes, and even more subtle black options. And I'm sure there'll be some graphic variations as well, as it has a one single piece design, so no seams, and should be pretty easy to customize. We have this bright orange color, looks more like a candy color, something you'd find in M&Ms or Skittles. So ensures they're visible, and again, with no seams or anything. Very clean design. The only real indicators on the actual helmet are the Quin and MIP stickers, which are easily removable. The only Lumos branding here is on the actual strap itself. So when you're wearing it, you'll see Lumos on the strap, but otherwise nice and unadorned. You have a pretty basic amount of ventilation, so it looks more like a baseball helmet. You have these little rectangles that cut through the EPS foam, and that's about it. So otherwise, it is a very simple and smooth helmet, and you can see glossy black rim. And what's great about this is you can see the rim is fully finished. So with cheaper helmets, you would see the foam. Here it's completely concealed, and you really only see the foam in the cutouts. So it looks pretty fancy. With the marketing material, Lumos claims is one of their safest and most attractive helmets. But honestly, it looks more like a baseball helmet, but looks pretty sleek, especially with the color selection and the integrated LEDs. The COB LEDs here are really the major feature. Although it looks like a simple helmet, you can see along the black rim, you have this big front LED rim, or this COB LED ring. And then on the back side, you have another strip, and you can see they're quite wide. If I hold the power button, it's actually underneath the back. I have this great little simulation when it powers up, and it shows you the battery status. So the green scale will adjust to how much you have left. And then you have a couple basic modes, so solid modes and then flash mode. And you can see really nicely integrated. So when they're off, you barely see them. And when they're on, they reveal their true color. The other really cool thing about this is obviously the turn signal. So with the remote, you get their little remote light, 2 buttons, left and right. And you can see sequential turn signal. So really cool. And then you can see it on the front and back with this nice orange coloring. It also beeps to remind you that it's on. And then if I do the right one, same thing. So a really cool feature, and the fact that it's on the front and back with this COB LED design, you can see it's very smooth and looks very modern. You don't have the exposed LEDs. It's nice and uniform. So very simple to operate with the left and right. Note this remote is not compatible with the Firefly lights. You need the more expensive remote, which is not included. The remote does have a simple battery, a watch battery on the inside, which is included. So you just pop this cover off and then replace it. And a little indicator that it's on too. So you can see the turn signal's on, and then same thing with the other way. The beeping is likely customizable through the app, but we can't use the app currently as the app hasn't been updated to support this newer helmet. As far as the fit system, you can see on the inside, it's pretty much all black. This is the MIPS Evolve Core. So you can see this rotational liner, and it's designed to reduce some of the impact. So if you're in an accident, it'll rotate a bit and absorb some of that impact. It's cut out around the actual vents, and you can see thick foam construction. You have a more simple strap design, so you can see this attaches to the corners. You have adjustable straps and a plastic buckle. You have a nice head cradle, so you can see this little plastic goes all the way around. So as you tighten this with the rear dial, it'll compress and give you a nice comfortable fit. You have these little reflective strips on the rear cradle, and these nice plastic extensions as well that provide a little bit more comfort. And again, really easy to adjust. A nice modern system that's a lot better than your really budget helmets. As far as the Quin sensor, there's actually a crash sensor on the inside of this. You can get to it, which is kind of interesting. So if I turn off the power and then you pull back this little plastic, there's two tabs here. You can pull up and then release this. So as far as I can tell, this is not something you ever need to replace, but if you were to buy the non-Quin version, it would have this hookup here. And then if you do get the Quin version, you get the sensor. So all the smarts and brains are baked into this, so it can detect your accelerometer, your location, and then if you're in an accident, it can send your information via the Quin app to your emergency contacts. You can also send SOS beacons up to 12 times per year with this helmet setup. So if you're ever in an accident or you need help, you can activate that and your location will be sent. The Quin app also is a fully featured app that can actually track your ride, and you can find it in motorcycles as well as the ABUS helmet. So pretty cool feature, and you can see that's the main port. This is charged directly from the USB Type-C port for the LED, so you don't have to worry about charging them separately. And a pretty slick setup, so very compact. And then if you were in an accident, this will automatically notify your loved ones. It does not have a built-in connection, so you do need cell phone reception to the Quin app, and you need to have your cell phone with you. Now let's take a look at the helmet in action. There's 3 different light modes to choose from. You have constant mode, slow flash, and then eco flash. Here you can see the constant mode. Both the front and the rear have a constant illumination, and you have a claimed runtime of 3.5 hours. Lumos doesn't actually publish the lumen amount, but you can see it's fairly bright, but not daytime bright, so something more around 40 lumen. Fast flash, you can see, has a nice on-off that's really fast, gives you 6.3 hours of runtime, and increase your visibility. So I definitely see you, especially with this bright color combination in conjunction with the LEDs. Eco mode gives you the longest runtime of 14 hours, and it's a much slower on and off. And again, you can see nice bright flash that really works well in low visibility conditions, and in conjunction with the headlight and taillight, ensures you're visible. The turn signals are probably our favorite feature. Here you can see the sequential animation. So it's a left turn signal. You can see it's both on the front and rear. And when the turn signal's on, part of the lights actually stay either red or white. So it's a really cool effect. So you still have additional visibility, but you also get the turn signal. And because you have the animation, it catches your eye more than standard on-off designs and mimics that way of what you see in the modern LED cars. So it's really cool. And then here you see the right one. You do need the higher end remote if you want to connect with the Firefly mini lights or the Firefly standard lights. If you just get the remote light that we have here, you can just operate the helmet turn signals only and not the associated other lights. Here you can see some daytime running footage, and you can see it's much more difficult to actually see the LEDs. So they're really not daytime bright. You probably only want to use them in lower visibility conditions, clouds, early mornings or nighttime. But it's still an attractive helmet. You don't have that much ventilation though, and that's one of the big drawbacks here. So if you're in a warmer climate, this is probably going to be a warmer helmet. But otherwise nice and light, which is really impressive. Here we actually have the Unit 1 Faro. So pretty similar design. You have the more urban style, a little more stylish because on the rear you actually have a full LED panel. And that's more similar to the other Lumos helmets that give you more customization. You can see with this one, it's the fireworks setting right now, so very cool design, but it makes it very heavy. So this is a big helmet. It's about 630 grams, so almost 1.5 pounds, while this is significantly lighter. The cool thing about the Nyxel though is that it's very well integrated. So the LEDs are right on the rim. So whether they're on or off, you still have an attractive helmet. While with something like this, you definitely can see where the LEDs would go. And again, with the less customization on this, you have a sleeker look and you get the turn signals that you don't have with the Faro model. You can see venting wise though, they both have minimal venting, while this one's a little bit more simple with almost like a baseball helmet style to it. Our favorite commuter helmet though is the 1000 Heritage. This is a Heritage 2.0. So they improve the venting. You have really cool racing stripe colors like we have here. And I actually like the design of this a lot more than the Lumos. Lumos looks a little bit more like a skateboarding helmet, while something like the 1000 looks more retro. You even have the little exposed bolts here, the fake leather straps. But you don't get the cool features like the crash sensor and the turn signals. With the 1000, you can see it's a detachable taillight. So it's an optional purchase. If you don't want it, you don't use it. It has a magnetic design that drops into place. But you can see with it off, it's definitely more of an eyesore. While again, with the Lumos, you can wear this during the day with the lights off, and it still looks pretty good. It's all well integrated. So definitely a nice compromise between the fully illuminated helmet and a more detachable design. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Lumos Nyxel helmet. What we like about it, there's a lot of fun available colors, so you can really find the one that matches your style. And Lumos has also added eye-catching sequential turn signal animations both on the front and rear, which ensures people know when you're turning. It's also surprisingly lightweight given all the features like the crash sensor and the MIPS liner. The main negatives for the helmet is the fact they have limited ventilation. There's only small squares on the top of the helmet for venting, and you also do need the Quin app active if you want to send out a crash notification. Finally, Lumos does charge extra if you want any of the additional accessories, like the more full-featured remote with the brake sensor and the Firefly integration. Taking everything into account, would give the Nyxel an 8.7 out of 10. It's a great helmet with a sleek, integrated LED that's still surprisingly lightweight. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us at our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.